Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of PowerCore Productions and Podcastings. I am your host, Javon Harrington, back to hit you with another video. And guys, we've arrived with One Piece Rangers of the Sea Part 9, the final installment before our major crossover event. I'm not gonna lie, I feel a little emotional making this story, mainly because it's one that's been a year in the making. For everyone, we started with what if Deku was a Power Ranger? And honestly, I wasn't sure of just how big that story was going to be. But then we did Neon Genesis Evangelion Zeo, we did Fire Force Lightspeed Rescue, we did a lot of other stories along the way. And now we've gotten to this point. First and foremost, I want to say thank you to everyone who has been a fan, who has supported this channel, who has watched faithfully from start to finish. As always, I cannot do it without you. You make the channel grow, you make the core grow. So now, as we enter into the final part, the final edition of One Piece Rangers of the Sea, what will lie in store for our heroes in the future? How will the Battle of Marineford come to an end? And what awaits them as they journey into the multiverse? For all this and more, stay tuned as we now conclude One Piece Rangers of the Sea. As always, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. The only thing that was left was war. The war between the Marines and the Whitebeard pirates for the capture of Fire Fist Ace. Whitebeard would use his abilities, attempting to create two large tsunamis to crash down on the base from both sides. However, before he could do so, he would be stopped by Aokiji, who froze the waters with his ice abilities. The two sides would then engage with one another as the pirates stormed on the Marine base. Watching on, they knew this was going to happen, that this would be the outcome. Both Ace and Garp looking on, not believing that things could have gotten this much out of hand. But they had known that this battle was inevitable. But even more so, among all of them, the one thing that shocked them the most was the arrival of Luffy and this new power that he possessed. He moved like a blur of red, unable to be traced or seen. It took Garp's own keen eye to be aware of what his grandson was doing. Sengoku was also in shock. To think that Straw had this kind of power within him. This was something that none of them had been able to calculate. Even the three admirals were in perplex. Luffy continuing to move like a rocket, passing towards all of the Marines that came his way. Whitebeard leading his crew, Marco joining at his side, as he attempted to fight off against Aokiji. The main goal was to try to get Ace as quickly as possible. They had used the aid of their giant, Little Oars Jr., believing that if he could bone rush all of them as quickly as possible, he could reach out and grab Ace before bringing them back. However, as Little Oars attempted to get towards them, he would be stopped and cut in his tracks by Doflamingo. For Ace, he didn't want any of this. He didn't want to see his comrades and his close friends being killed and maimed for his sake. This was his fault, his problem. But even more so, he couldn't deny that he was grateful for everyone that had come to his side in his time of need. However, the Marines, they were not in panic just yet. Led by noticeable warriors such as Smoker and Takagi, among others, they had been preparing for this fight, and they knew what was going to be the outcome. Off in the distance, Kobe would watch on. He would be in a bit of fear. Luffy was a good friend of his, but still he was a pirate all the same. And no matter what, he couldn't be worried about such things as friendship. The only thing that mattered now was fulfilling his duty. Jinbei would help engage in the fight also, as the other warlords would slowly start to take hold in the fight. Everyone was battling all at the same time. Aokiji, even using his abilities to his fullest extent, would have to realize that this was not going to be an easy day at all. Kizaru would remark that he didn't think that Luffy could have improved this much, and that whatever his power was, it was going to be something to be taken seriously. Maybe it was for the best that all of these troublemakers were brought here. It was time to put an end to this. It was time to snuff out the next generation, before these pirates, these mere upstarts, could become a serious force in the future. What was even more surprising was the fact that Crocodile was among them as well. It was rumored that he had joined with the revolutionaries, but even still, if they had gained someone like him on their side, then that only made things all the more troublesome. Smoker would catch eyes on Luffy, remembering the first time they had met back at Logtown, remembering all the times that the two of them had engaged with one another. And amongst the fighting and the chaos, Luffy would hear his name being yelled as Smoker would come crashing in front of him, cigar in hand. "So, Straw Hat, you got a new power, I see." "Captain Smoker, it seems you and I will always keep meeting like this." "I appear so." "You know I can't let you go any farther." "I know. And you're gonna try to stop me." "There is no try. I'm going to stop you." "Well, we'll see about that." Luffy would get into a stance as he charged himself to go into gear second, the glow of red forming around his body and steam beginning to bellow off, as both he and Smoker would charge at one another to continue on in their fight. The chaos only continuing to mount from every which angle, the fighting continuing to roar, Whitebeard, even at the end of his limits, still giving it all that he had, almost lifting Marineford from out of the very sea itself. The pirates and the Marines were falling on both ends, neither side willing to back down for one moment, knowing that the moment one of their wills were broken, then defeat would be ensured. Luffy had fought past Smoker, but even still, he was not too close to his goal. Before he could get any farther, he would find himself in the crosshairs of the warlords of the sea, Mihawk being the first to try to stop him, and before long, Gecko Moria along with Doflamingo, as well as Kuma coming in for the assist as well. Luffy tried to speak to Kuma, trying to figure out what had happened, he thought that he was on their side. However, Doflamingo would explain that the Kuma that he saw now was not the one that he had met at Sabaody. He had gone through modifications from Dr. Vegapunk, and now he was falling in line. Luffy now found himself surrounded by the 4 warlords of the sea. This battle was not going to be easy at all, but still Luffy would not be deterred. He clasped his feet together to use the Gum Gum spear towards Moria, kicking him out of the way before jumping back to use the Gum Gum Gatlin onto Mihawk, who blocked every hit with his sword. Doflamingo would attempt to try to slice Luffy with his strings. However, before he could get too close, Luffy would use the Gum Gum windmill kick, blasting away back at Doflamingo. Before Kuma would attempt to use a beam blast, Luffy dodging at the last moment, but still feeling the aftershocks of the attack once more. The 4 warlords would stand back on their feet once again, Luffy seeing that his brother was still far away from across on the battlefield. He knew he had to get closer towards him, but even still, fighting off the 4 warlords were not going to be easy or for the faint of heart. Luffy wished that he had his friends with him, that he had his allies. But almost as if it were the answer to a prayer, there would be a beam of light that would come flying towards him, just as Mihawk prepared to bring down his sword onto Luffy. The yell of 3 sword style would be heard, and a flash of blue would appear in front of him. Luffy looking on to see the swords and recognizing who it was. Zoro? Is that you? It's me. Mihawk. Roronoa Zoro. So, you've returned. Yeah. And if you want to get to my captain, you'll have to go through me first. Very well. Mihawk would be preoccupied with Zoro. As the other warlords attempted to mount a comeback, there would be a loud yelling flying across everyone. It sounded a mix of courage and fear. From out of nowhere, a pair of gold and silver would come flying in, blasting away at Kuma, knocking him to the ground. No need to worry, Luffy. We're here. Usopp? Chopper? Yeah, we made it, didn't we? I'm so happy to see you guys. Go save your brother, Luffy. Leave this to us. Come on, Chopper. Right. Alright. Try this. My new silver-staffed Kabuto. With Shining Star power. Right. And let's try Zeo Rumble Ball. Activate. Chopper would be clad in the Zeo Ranger armor, a new power-up for his golden form. And as for Usopp, he used the Silver Staff Kabuto to fight from a distance, as the two battled against Kuma. Multiple arms would then appear around Doflamingo, bending him and holding him in place, and then a thunderous strike of lightning would crash into him next, as Luffy saw the pink and yellow Gokaiger around with him as well. Luffy? Hey, Luffy! Nami! Robin! You guys are okay! We got this! Just go to your brother! Luffy continued on in his path, racing towards to save Ace. As Moria was about to try to stop him, he would hear a familiar voice as the sound of Soul Slash would ring. And now before him stood Frankie the Robo Knight, as well as Brook the Magna Defender. What the? You two? Yes, Moria. It seems you and I are destined to fight once more. I would say that I could feel it reverberating through my skin, if I had any. But the pain that I'm about to dish out, you're going to be feeling it for quite a while. And I got new upgrades. Let's blow you to kingdom come. Gatling gun summoning. Frankie would then summon the Gatling gun booster, as Brooke held his sword at the ready. The Straw Hats had arrived, and they were holding back against the warlords, as Luffy continued on his path, moving towards where his brother was being held. As Ace watched on, a part of him could not contain just how happy he was. He had accepted his death, but at the same time, he wanted to live. He didn't want it to end like this, for this to be the end. In the meanwhile, Whitebeard would be preparing to launch his most powerful attack, attempting to rock the very foundation. However, even still, he was taking much damage as the battle wore on. For you see, Whitebeard had been through many fights in his lifetime. He had been through many wars and troubles. While he was powerful, he was not the man he used to be. And this war was taking a toll on him. He had even found himself being betrayed by one of whom he called son, and a boy named Squard. But even still, Whitebeard only hugged his son, saying that even if he was a fool, he still loved him. This was a battle unlike any other. A battle that tested not only the physical, but the mental. As the fighting raged from every which way and location, the Rangers now having arrived, word was being sent back up to headquarters of everything that was happening. To say that the Gorosei were shocked would be an understatement. Not many in the world knew of who these Rangers were, but those in power, they did. How in the hell had they returned? The group that had caused them so much trouble. The last time they checked, they had hunted them all down and killed them. Although their power, that was hidden away. But now it seemed as though the Straw Hats were in possession of this. Regardless of the outcome, the world would never view them the same anymore. Potentially their greatest enemies had now returned back into the land of the living once again. As Garp sat beside Ace, watching on, they saw as Luffy continued his conquest until eventually he arrived. With aid from Oris Jr., Luffy would be flung ahead over everyone, until eventually he landed right where he needed to be, just before the platform to where Ace was being held. Standing before Luffy, towering him in size, would be none other than the three admirals, Aokiji, Kizaru, and Akainu, each one looking down at the boy, knowing fully well that this was someone they could not afford to take lightly. So, you finally made it, huh? Straw Hat. I didn't think you'd get this far. It doesn't matter. You have fought valiantly. But now you will face the full might of our justice. Today is the day you die, Straw Hat. You really think so, huh? I'm going to tell you what's going to happen right now. You're gonna let my brother go, or you're gonna face the consequences. Is he really threatening us? It seems you forgot what happened at the Sabaody. But why don't I remind you? Luffy, along with the flagpole that he had taken in hand, would jump into the air as he used the Gum Gum Gatlin, punching away and creating large debris to fall down upon them, creating a diversion. Luffy would use his enhanced strength and speed in an attempt to match them. Obscuring their vision just long enough, Luffy would bite down onto his hand, breaking the fabric until he reached his skin before blowing into it, causing his arm to increase in size. Gum Gum Balloon! Red Rocket! Luffy's giant red fist would come flying down towards them, Aokiji attempting to freeze it over. However, Luffy's fist moved at such a speed that it created just enough friction to give off flame, burning away at the ice and countering it just long enough for the three to move out of the way. Kizaru would use his power and light to try to blitz Luffy and attack him from every angle, while Akainu would use his magma to try to burn him away. And Aokiji attempted to freeze him all at once. Unlike before, Luffy's power was not something to take lightly, and it was not something that they could afford to underestimate. They could no longer treat Luffy like he were just some regular pirate, or just someone who got by on luck. No. Luffy was now being treated as a serious, incredible threat, and they were going to eliminate him swiftly. The three admirals would keep all of their attention focused on Luffy. Luffy tried to battle and fight them off, but even with his upgraded strength, his body had not fully recovered from everything he had been through over the last 3 weeks. You see, from the time that Luffy and his crew had been separated from the Sabaody to now, Luffy was running on fumes. Even with the strength of his ranger form aiding him, it wasn't enough. The admirals were continuing their beatdown on Luffy as Ace watched. Sengoku would order for the execution of Ace immediately, the guards holding their blades preparing to chop his head off. Luffy tried to get closer. He tried to reach out for his brother, only for Kizaru to kick him in the face and knock him back down once again, reminding him that he had them to deal with, and he wasn't going anywhere. The other Straw Hats saw what was happening, and they wanted to help, but even so, they too were still being held up in fights of their own. Zoro still trying to fight off against Mihawk. Even with his ranger strength giving him an advantage, it wasn't much of one. Mihawk was not someone who would be done in, even by the likes of Zoro the way he was now. Both Usopp and Chopper were still fighting off against Kuma. The girls were trying their best to hold off Doflamingo, and Frankie and Brook were still battling with Moria. They knew they had to get to their captain. They had to help him. Everyone could see that Ace was about to be executed. They had to do something. Luffy kept trying to get back to Ace over and over again, but he only kept getting knocked down. The three admirals were not going to let him get past. Garp, as much as he loved his grandson, he had to follow his duties, and he could not intervene. Sengoku only watched on as the blades were being raised. Luffy's desperation continued to mount himself over and over again. He just wanted help. Someone, anyone, please. I don't want my brother to die. Come on. If there's some power out there, if there's anything that can give me a chance, I just need it. Please, I'm begging you. Someone, hear me. I need you. At that very moment, as if he were being answered, a spark of power would wash over Marineford as multiple portals began to open. Flashes of light of every color would come merging out all at once. Everything would be stopped, even the executioners. Sengoku, Garp, Ace, Luffy, the admirals, the Straw Hats, the other warlords, the pirates, the marines, Whitebeard, everyone watching on. They couldn't tell what this phenomenon was or what was happening. From out of these portals, other beings started to emerge. Each one came in a group, 6 in total. No one knew what was happening. No one knew who these people were or where they had come from. Each group that had walked out all looked around, trying to figure out what was going on. Deku, where did you send us this time? Kachan, I didn't send us anywhere. And besides, you jumped through the portal. How the hell did we get here? I don't know, but I can see other rangers. It looks like they're in trouble. Shinji, what's going on? Asuka, I have no idea. Well, we certainly aren't in Tokyo 3 anymore, Toji would say. Yeah, that's right. But man, look at that vessel! Kinsuke, now is not the time. Ray, you know anything? I am unsure, Ikari. Damn it, Megumin! Why did you have to jump through like that? Look at where you've sent us! Ow! Let go of my cheeks! What, huh? You just like getting us into trouble. It's like it's a disease with you. What have you done? Aqua, where the hell are we? Well, if I had to guess, I think we're in One Piece. Wait, you know? I'm a god. What do you think? Oh, you think that I just don't know about our world? And that goes for you listening. I am a goddess. Don't underestimate. Hey, now's not the time to be talking all crazy like. Ow, I wasn't talking crazy. I was trying to address the audience. Ow, there is no audience, you dumbass. Oh my, look at all this destruction. I bet you the people who fight here are relentless. You think maybe they'll darkness? No. Guys, Yuji, yeah? Ow, you dumbass! We couldn't just leave Gojo Sensei like that. Do you know where the hell we are right now? If I had to guess, I'd say One Piece. What? That's just a manga. There's no way that's real. How would you know? We fight against freaking curses for crying out loud. But you don't think that One Piece could be real? Okay. Let's just assume we are, Nobara would ask. Do you know exactly where we are? Well, if I'm going to be entirely honest with you, I haven't finished reading or watching the series yet, but seeing as how there's a giant marine flag flying up ahead of us, and there's pirates and everyone else fighting in every which direction, I assume we're probably at a base of some sorts. Oh darn, I kind of wish we could have been in... Oh my god. What now? Look! Look over there! Look! What? Itadori was pointing to the boy dressed in orange and black, with a headband on his forehead. It's him! Oh my god, it's him! It's him! Yo! Naruto! Naruto! Over here! Hmm? Hey, do I know you? Well, no, but I'm a big fan of yours! Oh, thanks. Sasuke, do you know this guy? No, I don't. Cam, do you know where we are? Well, I don't. And then you just had to have the bright idea to jump through the portal without saying anything. Kurasuchi would then walk over to Naruto, hitting him on the head for being an idiot and doing something so dumb. Now they had no idea where they were right now. The groups continued fighting and arguing until eventually Deku tried to get all of their attention. Guys, it's okay, we're all the same. Huh? We're all the same? Yeah. I'm Izuku Midoriya. This is my friends, Katsuki Bakugo, Shoto Todoroki, Momo Yaoyorozu, Ochako Uraraka, Tenya Ida, Melissa Shields. We're all Power Rangers. Wait, you're Rangers? Wait, who are those guys? Oh, I'm Shinra Kusakabe. Lightspeed. Nice to meet you all. Lightspeed? I've never heard of Lightspeed. Wait, who are you guys? We're the Mystic Rangers. And who are you? We're Ninja Storm. Nice to meet you. And you guys? Jungle Fury. Well, we're Jujutsu Sorcerers, but we're also Jungle Fury. And you guys? Zio. Okay. If you're all Rangers, then prove it then. Okay. Guys? Let's do it. Alright. It's Morphing time. Dragon Zord, Tyrannosaurus, White Tiger, Saber-Toothed Tiger, Tyrannosaurus, Mastodon, Pterodactyl, Triceratops, Mighty Morphin, Ninja Storm, Ranger Form, Red, Blue, Yellow, Black, Green, Magical Source, Mystic Force, Red, Green, Blue, Yellow, Pink. With the strength of a tiger, Jungle Fury, Red Ranger. With the stealth of a jaguar, Jungle Fury, Blue Ranger. With the speed of a cheetah, Jungle Fury, Yellow Ranger. With the swiftness of a bat, Jungle Fury, Bat Ranger. With the strength of an elephant, Jungle Fury, Elephant Ranger. And Panda, Salmon, Shark, Bonito Flake, Shark, Shark Bonito. We don't understand a word he just said. Lightspeed, rescue! All of the Rangers had morphed together at once. But now that they had all proven that they were Rangers, there still lied one tiny issue. One issue that Bakugo just couldn't ignore. Okay, so we're all Rangers. Whoop-de-doo. Just one small thing. Where the hell did all of you come from? I don't know, Kazuma would ask. It's just a portal opened and then little Red over here just decided to jump through. Wait, you said the red one jumped through? Megumin would ask. Yeah. He would grab Itadori by the neck. Our red one jumped through also. So did ours. No one asked you, Icy Hot. Naruto? I don't know. Something just came over me. Amongst the fighting and the chaos, the Marines would immediately see the other Rangers and try to take them out. Which was honestly the dumbest thing they could have possibly have done, as they didn't stand a chance against any of the other Rangers here. As all of the groups had managed to fight off against the Marines that were trying to attack them, the other Straw Hats could not believe what they were seeing. If they didn't know any better, they had thought that their Ranger keys had somehow come to life. Of course, they needed all the help they could get, so they weren't going to look a gift horse in the mouth. However, everyone seeing this would then see the boy with the straw hat, the one that needed their help. Why were they arguing right now? There was a ranger that needed their help. Before they could even come up with a game plan, Naruto would go rushing forward towards them immediately. Kizaru attempted to stop Luffy once more. However, he would be blocked as Naruto would come crashing into him, as he activated KCM2. I wouldn't try that. And just who the hell are you? The name's Naruto Uzumaki. Remember it! Aokiji would try to stop them with his ice. However, he would be matched by ice power that could almost rival his. What the? I know I was the only one who ate the ice fruit. How the hell do you have ice power? It's complicated, Todoroki would say. But it doesn't really matter, because I'll be your opponent. Akainu had seen enough. He was ready to blast all of them away. However, before he could, he would hear a weird chanting incantation. It was coming from the girl with the mystic power, as both she and Bakugo were coming in at full blinding rage, the two of them giving off a devastating explosion and blasting them back. Wait, you can do explosions too? Oh man, what kind of explosion magic? I want to know how to do it with my hands. What the? It's not magic, it's a quirk. What's a quirk? It's something that you're born with. Like magic? It's not magic. Get away from me, you stupid little witch. But I want to know about your explosions. They're so awesome. And you did that thing with... Where'd you get... What are those things on your arms? They're my grenade gauntlets. I knew it. Us Red Rangers have to stick together. There's nothing we can't do with explosions. Ugh. Hey, you with the straw hat. Huh? Don't just stand there. Get going already. Right. Thank you. Luffy would then move straight forward, charging up the stairs. However, before he got any farther, Kobe would attempt to stand in front of him, knowing that he couldn't back down from Luffy. However, Luffy was not in the mood, and he sucker punched him in the face, knocking him to the ground. Luffy continued moving up the stairs, not wasting time for anyone that tried to get in his way. As Zoro fought with Mihawk, he would be surprised when the black ninja would appear, using his sword as well to hold him off. You're not bad with a sword. I take it you're a ranger as well? I am. And can I assume we're on the same side? We are. Well, that's a relief. Roronoa Zoro. Sasuke Uchiha. Who is this one we're fighting? He's one of the best swordsmen in the world. Mihawk. I see. Well, if he's really the best, then let's find out. As both Robin and Nami were fighting against Doflamingo, he attempted to crush them once more. However, before he could do so, a girl would come charging in and almost cutting him with her sword. Fiend, you will not go any farther, for you will have me to deal with. Who are you? Oh, I'm Darkness. Nice to meet you. I've been... Ooh! You know, I don't really care about cutting up a bitch. Oh my, these strings, they're tightening around me so hard. Thank you so much. Is she enjoying this? Lady, you know I'm trying to kill you, right? Oh, yes, I'm okay with that. Okay. This is officially the weirdest day of my life. Both Usopp and Chopper would continue fighting against Kuma. Eventually, they were able to slow him down, but Things only got worse when an army of Kumas suddenly appeared, all of them looking to destroy them all at once. However, Usopp was not one to give up. As he looked towards his belt buckle, he would pull out a new key. "Master, I need your help." "Samurai Morpher, Gold Power!" Usopp would reach towards the back to pull out the Barracuda blade. As he got into his stance for the Heat Slash maneuver, he would stand perfectly still, channeling the powers of the Gold Samurai, as the Kumas all blasted their death beams towards him at once. However, with blinding speed, Usopp would reflect every one of the attacks in different directions before moving to try to take them down, managing to get a few. However, in his overconfidence, he wouldn't see a right hook coming to his face, knocking him back to the ground once again. "Hold on, Usopp, I'll back you up." "Samurai Gold, activate!" Usopp would be shocked to see that Chopper could form into his own samurai form as well, the two standing back to back as they fought against the army of Kumabots. However, things wouldn't be too dire, as a few stray beams came their way. They would hear the activation of AT fields, as both Kinsuke and Toji, Zeo Ranger Blue and Zeo Ranger Green, would arrive to back them up. "Look like you guys could use a hand." "Hey, you guys have Zeo power?" "Yep, we're the Zeo Rangers, at your service." "Alright, Kinsuke, let's do it." AT field, 30%. Engage. Force fields of green and blue would block against the beams attacking from every direction, as they heard a wild cry of anger, as Asuka would jump into the air, throwing her power shield, cutting off the heads of the various robots. "And that's what you get for messing with Asuka." "Nice work, Asuka," Shinji would yell. "Well, duh. I'm a ranger after all. There's no way I'd lose to something as stupid as that. Give me more credit, Shinji." Yeah. Shinji pulled out his power sword and fought off against various Marines. He wasn't really so much for violence, so he chose to take them out in the most non-lethal way possible, blasting them back with his AT fields, as smoke and debris continued to illuminate across Marineford. The only one left in Luffy's way was his grandfather Garp. Garp knew that he couldn't allow Luffy and his antics to go on any further. However, just like Kobe, and much to Luffy's own heartache, Garp caught a right hook to the face, and whether or not you believe Garp took it on purpose or not, that doesn't change the fact that this one rocked his bells, leaving none other than Ace wide open for freedom. However, there was still someone else that was not going to give up so easily. Sengoku, using his own devil fruit, the Hito Hito no Mi, Mato Daibutsu, transforming into an enormous golden Buddha. Luffy had been given the key from Boa Hancock to unlock Ace's handcuffs, made out of Sea Prism Stone, keeping him from using his power. Unfortunately though, the key, as he had tried to use it, had ended up being destroyed, as Kizaru fired a beam just in time to make sure the key wouldn't be of any use to them. Even though Luffy had gotten to his brother Ace, they had some bigger issues to deal with at the moment, such as a giant golden fist about to come down and crush them into small dust. However, Shinji would come through just in time, the red Zeo Ranger lifting his hand into the air as he created a massive AT field blocking his attack, long enough for reinforcement to come his way, in the form of the Lightspeed Ranger, Lightspeed Ranger Red, Shinra, along with the turquoise Lightspeed Ranger, Ogon, the two of them flying into the air, using their flame ability, as they punched Sengoku directly in the face. "Alright, you guys, get him out of here!" Hearing those words, Luffy and Ace would start running for their lives. Ace, grateful for the rescue, although he still was stuck with these Sea Prism Stone handcuffs, and he had no way of getting them off. As they continued to fight and duck and dodge every attack that came their way, they found themselves being hit from every which angle. Smoker, still not wanting to give up as he continued his pursuits, only to quickly be cut off, as Yuji Itadori, along with Maki Zenin, would appear. "Ooh, this guy's made out of smoke. It should be fun." Who the hell are you guys?" "Jungle Fury. Nice to meet ya." Maki, using the spirit of the bat, would summon her bat fans. Using the wind created, amplified by her own curse energy, she would be able to push back against Smoker, keeping him at a distance, while Yuji would guard her, fighting off against the other Marines, trying to hold back the killing intent that Sukuna was giving off. He was not too thrilled about being sent to another world, far away from his other fingers, and he knew if he didn't get back, he'd never be able to become whole, and this vessel would be absolutely worthless. The boys continued to run for their lives, the other Rangers blocking and keeping them well guarded. They asked if there was anyone among them who could get these Sea Prism Stones off. That was the time that Kazuma had been waiting for. Kazuma ran out amongst all the fighting and the chaos, the Green Mystic Ranger knowing that after all this time, his magic skill was finally going to come into use. He told them to hold Ace's arms in the air and that he could get the handcuffs removed. Ace would do as he was told, holding both arms in the air, as Kazuma felt as though now was the making of his new hero story. He reached out his hand up wide as he yelled out the word, "Steel!" There would be a flash of light, a gust of wind. And Kazuma? Well, it worked. He had done it. You see, Kazuma, he got the handcuffs, but he got a little more. You see, Boa Hancock was in their vicinity trying to help them escape, and when he used steel, not only did he take the handcuffs, but he took a little something. Boa could feel that underneath her skirt, it felt a little drafty, and it didn't make it any better when she looked up to see that the Green Ranger was holding not only the handcuffs, but her panties. "Kazuma?" Aqua would yell. "How could you be a pervert at a time like this? What is wrong with you?" Boa simply looked at Kazuma angrily. No, wait, no, I am sorry. Wait, no, please, I didn't. Oh, God." Everyone would simply get out of their way, pirate, marine, and everyone alike, as Kazuma went running for his own, as Boa chased after him with every intent to rip him from limb to limb for embarrassing her in front of her love, her sweet Luffy. In the meantime, the Admirals would be having a fight of their lives. Kizaru fighting off against Naruto, the boy who was as much of light as he was. Although then again, we are fighting someone who's the son of the Yellow Flash of the Hidden Leaf, that is what you would have to expect. It didn't make matters any better though when other Rangers started to back up and give them aid. Against Akainu, both Bakugo and Megumi would use their respective explosions to fight off against his magma power. Midoriya coming in for the assist as he used One for All, channeling it into his full cowling and using his green flames to match with them, providing them the firepower that they needed. And against Aokiji, Todoroki was holding his own just fine, although Momo would come in for the help, creating a large bazooka from her sidearm and firing it from multiple angles. The ice user not having seen this level of cannon power before. Ida would come in using reciprocal burst when he wasn't looking, kicking him in the head and knocking him flat out across the arena itself. As the Rangers all saw what was happening, Luffy and Ace fighting together side by side looking to make their retreat, Midoriya would tell everyone now they needed to fall back. They had done what they had needed to do, and now the only thing that mattered was getting the hell out of here alive. Of course, the three admirals, they weren't going to take this lying down. Aqua, she wanted to help in any way that she could. She attempted to use her own ability, create water. Under normal circumstances, this attack would do absolutely nothing. I mean, flooding an area with water, what was that really gonna do? But, you see, the thing about Aqua, she has dumb luck. And she used her blessing to its fullest extent, creating a massive tidal wave that ended up washing over the admirals that were chasing after them. They had no choice but to move and dodge at the last moment, as water was, well, their weakness. Unknowingly, Aqua had brought them the time that they had needed, the time to get away. Now having Ace safely within their possession, Whitebeard was able to press on in the battle. As the three admirals attempted to mount one more comeback, Whitebeard would create an opening, a large tremor shaking the very foundation, allowing for the pirates, the Rangers, and everyone else to safely get to shore, before mounting onto the various boats and preparing to hightail it out of there. However, Whitebeard remained. He had to make sure that his sons and allies got out of here safely. He didn't plan on living that long anyway, but he figured at the very least, he could provide them the cover that they needed for their escape. Ace, however, he was not on board with this, and he did not want to leave his father here to die. Even if he had the power of the Gura Gura no Mi, in the end, it was still causing much stress on Whitebeard. However, with a lot of stories, for all the good that you can do, there's still some times where things don't change, despite trying your hardest. In the midst of the chaos and the fighting, Whitebeard had taken a lot of damage. And it was actually a lot more so than you could have imagined in this timeline of scenario. So much so that there was a certain pirate, no, certain scum, who wanted to take advantage of this. His name was Blackbeard, the Master of Darkness. Blackbeard, along with his crew, launched a surprise attack on Whitebeard when he wasn't looking. His crew opening fire and blasting him to Kingdom Come. For Blackbeard, it had been a long con for the longest time. And for Ace, he was filled with nothing but object horror. Every one of the Whitebeard pirates were. Seeing the one that they had known as father being mercilessly betrayed by one of whom they thought as their own. Blackbeard reveled in this. He reveled in the idea of being able to be the one that took him down. Whitebeard had nothing to say, as he held nothing but contempt for Blackbeard. Ace tried to run back. He tried to run back for Whitebeard, but Whitebeard, using the last of his strength, would create a massive tremor, pushing him, Luffy, and everyone else to safety, as he took the brunt of the attacks that ultimately did him in. Father! No! Come on! Don't do this! It is fine, my son. I have had a long life, and you could say that this is the end best befitting of an emperor. But we can't live without you. You will never be alone, my son. I will be with all of you. Remember that. Ace yelled once more, his cries echoing into the sky, as Whitebeard met his end. For Ace, sadness and hatred burnt through him as he looked to see what had happened. Blackbeard had now managed to achieve his ultimate goal, now wielding the power of darkness and Tremor in his hands. Tremoring shadow, Blackbeard himself. Ace looked as Blackbeard turned and smiled to him. There was a large amount of bloodlust that washed over Ace's eyes in fury. Teach! Listen to me! I don't care how long it takes. I will find you. And when you die, it'll be by my hands. You understand me? There. If you really think you can make that happen, Ace, come find me in the new world. I'll be waiting for you. Ace had heard enough. He let go of all of his restraint, Luffy and everyone else that tried to hold him as he went flying back towards him. However, Blackbeard would create a large shadow blocking everyone's vision, and a large tremor shaking the foundation of Marineford as he and the Blackbeard pirates would escape into the darkness. When this darkness faded and light emerged once more, Ace would be by the side of his father, holding his hand as the old pirate met his end. The fighting, it only continued onward. The Admiral was not looking to want to give up, not wanting for it to end in a defeat. With help from the others, they would take Whitebeard's body and board the ships, attempting to make their escape. Kazuma looked to Megumi, telling her that they needed the best explosion that she could conjure. Megumi nodded her head and told everyone to stand back. Everyone did so, giving the little girl space, as the Red Mystic Ranger poured all of her power into this final attack. She gave off her most powerful of explosion spells, as a singular large explosion rained on Marineford. The buildings, the flag itself, they were all eviscerated. Nothing remained but smoke and ash as the Marines slowly rose back to their feet. There was no way they could withstand any further. They had lost. And not only had they lost, but the world had seen as well. There would be a somber tone as they made their way back. They had achieved victory, but it had come at a great cost. Lives had been lost. There had been many of whom were not going to be returning with them. Once they had made it to safety, the various pirate crews that had come along to help would split off and say their goodbyes. The Whitebeard pirate crew that remained, along with their own. they would take the body of Whitebeard and give him a proper burial. They planned to do it back in his homeland when they would arrive someday. As for Luffy, he went to his brother. He apologized, knowing fully well that if he had been better, things wouldn't have ended like this. However, Ace simply punched him in the head, telling him that it wasn't his fault, and he was grateful for Luffy and what he had done. But even still, he wasn't going to rest until Blackbeard was dead. Well, I can say I wholeheartedly agree with you, Ace. The two would turn to see that it was none other than Shanks. How had he known they'd be here? Oh, news got around pretty fast. I was coming just to observe, and you guys were able to make it. Seems you've made a lot of friends, haven't you, Luffy? I don't really know any of them. I don't know where they came from, and honestly, I'm really not sure of anything, but I couldn't have done it without them. Well, in any case, I'm proud of you, the both of you. Ace, you have a lot to live up to and aspire to be. I think if anyone could inherit his will, it'll be you. Me? Yeah, Marco would say as he joined them. But you're the senior here. If anyone should take over command, it should be you. Oh, come on, don't give me that. The old man, if he knew better than anything, if there was any one of us that was going to lead, it'd be you. And I don't mind. Being the right-hand man to an emperor, there's no greater honor than that. So for you, I'll follow you anywhere. Whatever you want to do, say the word, and we're down. There's only one thing I want. I want to aspire to be like Pops. I'm going to work hard. I'll take his place as the next emperor. Before anything, we're going to find Teach. And we're going to wipe out the Blackbeard pirates. But we're going to need time to build and to get ready. The way he is now, it'd only be a bloodbath. And I can't afford to lose any more family. I see. Then if that's the case, why don't you follow me? There's going to be some time, you know. Everyone's going to be preparing themselves before they go to the new world. What do you mean? What I mean is, there's a lot that you need to know before you go there. Otherwise, you're not going to stand a chance. I'll train you. I'll make sure that you're ready for what's to come. If you're up for it. I am. The Whitebeard pirates and the Rangers would make their way back to Sabaody, meeting with Rayleigh once more, who was happy to see their return, although he was saddened by the news of Whitebeard's death. As the vessel for both the Whitebeard pirates as well as the Straw Hats were docked side by side, the Whitebeard pirate crew would go off to relax and recover, but for Luffy, there was a conversation that had to be had. Everyone that was a ranger were all gathered together in a secret location. To say that tensions were high would be an understatement. Here were various people. People from different worlds, different dimensions, all gathered together. Everyone would introduce themselves one by one. In total, there were 7 teams. Midoriya would stand before them all, Everyone, now that we've gotten introductions out of the way, I suppose you're wondering why I've been trying to contact all of you. Yeah, that's for sure, one of them would yell in the back. Alright, here's the truth. There is a being known as Lord Dragon. He's an evil ranger. And he's been going across the multiverse, hunting down rangers like us of every kind, taking our power, and leaving the world subjugated to him. And why is he doing this? Zora would ask. He's trying to find the morphing grid, its source. If he finds it, he will become a god, and none of us will be able to stand against him. Not any one of us? But what about all of us? Together? I mean, don't get me wrong, it's not that it's a bad idea, but can we really do that? The Straw Hats in particular would turn to Luffy and ask his own opinion. Of course, Luffy was grateful for the help, he couldn't deny that. And if he could return the favor in any way, then he would absolutely. But this sounded like a journey that would take them somewhere far from their own world. And there was no telling when or if they'd even get back. So Luffy would ask, how long will we be gone? Do you know? Well, time and space are not really as linear as you might think. It wouldn't really be a matter of if you get back, it'd be a matter of when in a timeline, to be specific. If everything goes the way it should, and we come out of this alive, then I can help send everyone back to their own time. At least back to the moment where we first met you. I see, Shinji would speak up. So you're saying that when it's time for us to leave, we'd basically just be going right back to the moment in time when we first met? Exactly. So, no matter how much time passes for us on our mission, when we go back at the same time we left. Well now, Rayleigh would speak up as he walked into the room. Then that sounds delightful. If it works the way you say it does, young man, then that means that the moment you all leave here, if you're successful, I'll be seeing my guys back here in a few moments tops, right? Yes, that's how it would work. Then Luffy, what do you think? Luffy walked towards Midoriya. You helped me in my time of need, and that is something that I don't know if I can ever repay. But if you need me and my crew's help, then we're in. What about all of you? The Zeo Rangers? We'll aid you no matter what. Jungle Fury? We've got your back. Lightspeed Rescue, here and ready for duty. Mystic Force? We're in. Mighty Morphin? Good to go. Alright then. So, where do we start? Izuku would pull out the device that he had been given by Trip from the future. It was the device that would allow them to contact with the Time Force Rangers, to let them know of anything that might have happened. Of course, it had been a long time since they had thought of making this call, but now was going to be as good of a time as any. Izuku would press the button on the device, and a holographic screen would appear, as Trip was at his station. He wasn't expecting a call, but even more so to have so many Rangers in one location. Izuku, is that you? It's good to see you, man, but where are all those other people? And I'm looking at my screen. Why are you in another dimension? will take a while to explain, but we need your help. Lord Draken, Yeah, I know. We're at our wits' end over here. We're trying to combat him in every place and time that we can. So what's up? We want to help. We're ready to join. Are you sure? All of you. If you go, there's no guarantee that you'll come back. Everyone in the room, from the most sure to the ones that were, well, a little unsure, they knew in the end they couldn't turn back. After all, it was a ranger's job, in some shape or fashion. Alright then, I'm gonna send a teleporting beam that should get all of you here. Once you arrive, I'll have Jin bring you up to speed. You guys ready? Everyone in the room would yell ready. And before Rayleigh's eyes, all of them would disappear. He would simply lean over to a counter and grab a drink, and he waited. He waited to see what was going to happen. A couple of minutes would pass, and there would be silence. And then, just like that, in a beam of light, all of the Straw Hats had returned. Well, I thought you guys would have taken a little longer than that. You guys look like shit. So, what happened? Luffy simply looked up to him and smiled. It's a long story. No worries. Pull up a chair. I'll get you guys some food. I want to hear all about it. And thus, the tale of the Straw Hat Pirates had come to an end. Or has it? What happened while they were away? What were brief moments for Rayleigh? It had been a whole other adventure for Luffy and his friends. But that's a story for another time. A story of how heroes from across the Morphing Grid joined together in our hour of need. A story that you'll hear very soon. This concludes One Piece Rangers of the Sea Part 9, based on the Heroes of the Morphing Grid series. As always, if you enjoyed today's video and everything else that we have to offer, then please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for post notifications so you can stay up to date on everything that is PowerCore Productions and Podcasting that is to come out now and in the future. Stay tuned next week as we are going to be doing a special recap video on the Heroes of the Morphing Grid so that you can be caught up on everything as we enter into the crossover story later in the week. But anyway, that's going to do it for the end of today's video. I'm Javon Harrington with PowerCore Productions and Podcastings. Signing off, and I'll see you next time.